All right, what do you want me to say?
Well, I'll just have you
Give me the specific thing you want me to say, and I'll say it.
about your nephew.
Which one was this?
It's the one where he says that you should resist the urges regarding your nephew. Do you want to read that?
Oh no, no, actually, I'm good
In
on that one.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
That
But
was
yeah,
never a
damn, it's
normal that was never a normal
like my,
part of the internet. Like back in what this
I, gue-
was
I
15
guess
years ago?
my
Go
question to
ahead.
you would be like, do you really think Ethan Klein is like a PDF
No,
file? Like, do
nobody's
you
saying
really
nobody's
believe
ever
that?
said that. No, no,
Are you,
nobody's ever said that. But that's the thing. I mean,
okay?
people probably have said that, but this is my issue, Pat, is that you being okay with yourself because he attached his name to that. First of all, just having these thoughts, having like even if I tried to craft a joke, I wouldn't be able to create like come up with that like creative of a mindset to like pretend that I'm in. You know, it's just like how does that and how do you want to portray yourself like that? Like that's insane to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it was an anonymous account, right? So it wasn't
No,
really
it was
representing
attached to his.
himself.
It was he was promoting
It didn't have
H3H3
like his
Productions.
public information. That,
It had his
that
face.
can't be true.
No, that's
That
the
can't be
first time
true.
that we found it. That's how we found it. Is that he was promoting H3H3 like years ago when they had less than 1,000 subscribers. That's
If that's actually true, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but
no,
that's a
it's
big
it's
fuck up on
100%
him.
true. It's he was like interacting with other people, other YouTubers as well, and he was saying, yeah, like this is mine. Keep up the good work. Da da da. Even if people don't like it, you're still blah blah blah. It's like he was that was it, partly what he was using because he even said like during the Boston Marathon video that what he would do like his defense was that he was posting in Bravery Jerk and because what he would do is
Yeah,
post in
no,
these.
yeah. Dude, don't get me wrong. It was fucking weird. Like I cringed at those videos when I rewatched them. But I mean, you said it yourself, right? Like you don't think the guy's a PDF file. So like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, I think if everyone agrees it's weird, I don't understand like relitigating all this shit. You know what I mean?
Well, people get called out for their shitty weird jokes all the time though. Like I don't, and especially these ones that like it's really bizarre to me. Like as especially as like a I don't want to apply too many gender rules to this, but like as a man to like have these thoughts and be okay with people perceiving you as such, even if he was quote unquote trolling, he was trolling, but even then, it's like how it's not like some like oh arrest this guy type shit. Like obviously, it's not like I would be concerned to have like I wouldn't. Would you if you had kids? Would you allow Ethan Klein around your kids after reading that? Like around at the time that he was posting that,
Yes.
you
Yes,
would?
I would. It really isn't that deep. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you really think that's like him, if you really think it's
No,
like a
not
testament to him
necessarily.
being like a danger to children in his like near proximity, I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Not
And again, I think you
necessarily.
know this, but you just already have some like preconceived disposition to Ethan
No,
Klein's. You just use this as a
no,
justification. And again,
no.
it's fine,
People who
bro.
make
Listen, it was weird. I like it's cringe. I'm not proud. I didn't enjoy seeing that shit. But again, like who hasn't done or said weird shit in their lifetime? I feel like it's kind of an unprecedented situation when
but that's a
like shit that you were joking about 15 years ago is like getting relitigated. You know what I
no,
mean?
yeah, I know, but like no matter how much fucked up shit I said, that's still weird. Like you would okay, listen.
Yeah, I agree.
It
It's
it
weird.
it it,
What are
it
we
doesn't
disagreeing
no,
on?
that's not we're not agreeing. We're not agreeing. I hate when you do this, Pat. I hate when you do it. We're not agreeing.
Bro, what? Okay, to be fair, last time I was on, you literally called me a fucking Nazi. So like,
You are a Nazi.
yeah. See, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, bro. Like
You don't believe that there's a
I am the
genocide
most like
happening.
fundamentally liberal person you could ever fucking meet, dude.
That's the problem.
Yeah, do you understand like the
Liberals are
fundamental difference between
inherently
liberalism and fascism? It's retarded.
liberals are inherently imperialist and seek to preserve Western values across the world. That's just a tenet of
Imperialist? You think liberalism is inherently imperialistic?
yes, because the entire purpose of liberalism is to uphold certain Western values. Maybe not the entire purpose. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but one of the main functions of liberalism is to preserve and uphold Western values. Is that
Yeah,
incorrect?
no, I mean, like, no, I agree with you that like liberalism is about upholding Western values, but this idea that it's like seemingly having to be imposed on the rest of the world and like we're actively facilitating that, like, no, obviously
Iran?
not. Bro, Iran like indoctrinates children into walking into minefields. I feel like that's a pretty like
So do we.
unique circumstance.
So do we.
Yeah,
We
no, we
have
don't. Yeah,
okay.
really, naming a
What is our
time that the
military
United States
propaganda?
indoctrinated someone.
What is our
What is our
military
military
propaganda? What is the
propaganda?
purpose of it?
I don't
What
know,
is the
Call of
purpose of our?
Duty.
I mean, maybe it's one of the forums that was it was supported. I mean, the military has made their own video games that are the same exact thing. It is presenting being in the military as this heroic act, and that you're a real American, you're a true
I think
hero
it is
for
virtuous
America.
to like serve your country, especially if you believe that your country is like upholding virtuous values. I
But
feel like
it
that's
doesn't
awesome.
just, it's not in a vacuum. It's not in a vacuum. It's not just you're defending your country. It's like, what is your country doing that you're defending?
Yeah, but like again, what aspect of the United States do you think is like so inhumane that it makes like anybody who even joined the military like morally
Well,
reprehensible, I
well,
guess.
let's look at a lot of our past wars. There's Iraq, there's Vietnam.
Dude, okay, Iraq, I understand that the Iraq war was bad, but it brain broke people so much. I'm telling you, like our federal institutions, they hold shit down, I promise you. Like the Iraq war, while it was an ugly part of our system,
Have you
like
seen?
I like to say that's representative of all of the conflicts that we've ever engaged in is pretty ridiculous.
We will engage in conflicts all the time for like jack shit. Like Iraq, we both know is just insane, right? The fact that we even got into that war, and if you see like the function of what we did in Iraq, it's like you're watching videos of Gaza. Like it's you see infantrymen like ripping people away from their families, and the families are like sobbing, crying, screaming, and like a lot of these people, again, because Iraq War was set out on a false precedent, or
A
false
false pretense? Yeah,
pretext.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, what, how can, like, I don't know, if it was such if it was all just like a big lie, and then we also have people going in there and fucking up families and just destroying the region. It's like, that's, and what was that in the name of? To quote unquote defend our country, or uphold what we see to be as a global order, sort of, I guess.
Yeah, so you won't ever hear me like defending the actions of the United States with the Iraq War. Like it was
Right.
bad. But like to say that also like Iraq was this peaceful dove, like innocent bystander in this whole conflict, like no, they were like fostering Al
Okay.
Qaeda. Those people like, absolutely had
Okay.
their strings up doing some terroristic shit. So,
I mean, we
um,
can say that, but
yeah,
like at the
like if
same time, there
we,
was
we
no reason to swing out on them at all, for what
I
we were.
mean,
They were
well,
blamed for what, nine
listen,
eleven, right?
the pretext that we used to get the American military to go into Iraq, I agree with you that it was wrong to do it in capacity.
So I just don't
Am
understand
I
how
am I
it's.
shedding
Go ahead.
tears for like the Iraqi government? Like no, like
No, but the
sorry. Yeah,
people,
like
but the people, but the civilians. It's like,
no,
it's, see, this
I
is,
understand. I
this is,
understand that like civilian casualties are a bad thing. You're not
and
gonna hear me
our
say that, but
own
I think it's
militant.
but I no, 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 but I think it's a very childish way of looking at the world to just look at civilian casualties and have that be your only outlet of understanding of an entire conflict.
Because
It's very
there's a
thought
bigger,
provoking, bro.
right, because there's a bigger a need, there's something more important that we have to do, and the civilians are, it's, this is what I'm talking about. This is why it's inherently imperialistic. It's a liberalism, because it's like, this is, how is that secondary? This is imperialism.
What if you're talking about the Iraq war and you're saying it's imperialism? I mean, like you could make the argument that like the United States was um, like infusing its economic interests in the region.
Hmm.
To say that's like imperialistic in the same way that like I don't know British colonies were imperialistic, like obviously not. But again, this
What do
idea
you
that like
call when we
no,
have,
no, but like
so
again,
go ahead,
like
go ahead.
there are an infinite amount of countries that are going to want to expand. It's just a natural thing that any country is going to want. Obviously, you would want to
Mm,
expand within completely moral and humanitarian ways. Certain countries like Russia, for instance, choose to go about expanding their interests in a pretty
s-
unethical way, and we
So
can criticize them for that.
when we have these, so like, even you said it yourself, maybe there was some economic interest. I mean, that in and of itself is a facet of
Yeah, yeah.
imperialism, but also,
Geostrategic interest is the most specific one. It's just like
so that's
there was
when you
probably
say
a
like
bunch of
the
geostrategic interests.
installing colonies or something like that. You say that that's like, a British thing, but like, what would you say is the main difference between instilling, or setting up a colony, or settling in somewhere, and installing, a regime change? Like, what is the,
What's the
because
difference
at
between
the function is the exact same, because the regime change would be specifically to support our interests. So it might as well be, it's not like we're replacing the population there, but we're replacing the function of the government there. And the government is really what, if they have the means, the money, and the power to keep their civilians in line with our interests as well. I don't get what the difference is.
so when you talk about regime change, are you like specifically referring to like banana republics?
It could be
Or
that.
like when you
It could
talk
be
about
like what
regime
we tried to do
change as
with the
Western
Shah
influence?
in Iran.
Yeah, so I mean again, that was just a very different time politically. Like the United States was like hell bent on like curbing any form of communism. It was just like it was immediately after World War II. Like a lot of these people were still very mobilized militarily. Um, but yeah, again, like this idea, I feel like it's a circular argument because you could look at any expansion of geostrategic interest from like a liberal country and say that it's imperialistic when it's like I don't know. I feel like that's a mischaracterization of what you could argue is probably a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess I just don't like. This is why and I think um, I would be justified in thinking that all of these things add up to like this sort of this is all preserving Western interests, all of these things, and especially regime changes is one, but also the oil issue in Iraq and so on and so forth, economic interests. I think that's all. These are all facets of one imperialism, and through quote unquote preserving Western interests, which is something that liberalism is supportive of. So that's why I would say that it is
So
imperialistic political ideology.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm probably not going to move you on this one, but like I don't know, characterizing it as imperialistic. I just it just seems childish to me, but that's just me.
No, that's okay.
Um, can you explain to me why I'm a Nazi though? Like seriously, like I'm genuinely confused on that.
Well,
Because
it's
like I've like
a
watched
function
Nick
of
Fuentes videos.
liberalism. Okay, that doesn't matter. A Nazi's not nowadays. A Nazi is not going to call itself a Nazi, just like back then. A Nazi is not going to call itself a
No,
totalitarian.
I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes like openly admits that he's a
Okay,
Nazi.
Nick Fuentes is a freak. Like he's like a
Yeah,
one-off.
I agree. I'm not a freak like Nick Fuentes,
Okay,
bro. Like it's
because
just
no,
there's
the,
a fundamental difference there.
Nick Fuentes' Nazism is literally just him LARPing as somebody from the 1940s and wanting to be associated with German fascism. Like that's not like we're not talking about the actual I don't know historical we're not talking about you LARPing and dressing up and doing like fucking Civil War reenactment. Like it's that because that's what Nick Fuentes is doing essentially. The belief system of the imperialistic, citizens come second for the real, global interest type thing. It's that
That's not
inherently
true. I mean, like
sacrificing.
every Western country prioritizes civilian life. Like they have to uphold international law. Like these have been upheld by the Geneva Convention. So I really don't know what you want me to say there. Like if you want to
Are
argue
you
about
saying that
like the
just to
morality
like
of like the
make me
different
bring up?
hemispheres of the world, the West is obviously better. But
Are you just saying this to make me bring up Israel, just completely
because yeah, yeah, sure.
disregarding
Why
the?
not? Let's
No,
run
but
it,
like
dude.
you know
Let's
that they
run the
don't follow the Geneva.
Israel-Palestine debate, bro.
No, let's okay, but we're not. This is why. This is
I
the
can agree
reason.
with you.
This is the
No, no, no.
catalyst for me
I can
calling you a
absolutely
Nazi.
agree with you. I can absolutely agree with you that Israel isn't like fully respecting the Geneva Conventions. And again, Bibi Netanyahu, that dude's a gremlin, bro. I don't fuck with him.
Okay.
I don't think anyone in America fucks with him. I think like 94% of Americans have like a
Republicans, I
disfavorable
feel
view
like.
of Netanyahu.
I feel like the non-anti-Semitic Republican, and not saying that like obviously this is not me conflating Zionism or Netanyahu with anti-Semitism, but like the ones who come up with anti-Semitic conspiracies are probably the only ones who don't like Netanyahu. Otherwise, he's a far right, military heavy, like sort of Republican value type guy. Like it's. But
Yeah, well, I
anyway,
mean,
that's
I'm
not
not a
what we're debating.
Republican, right?
No, yeah, of course, you're a liberal.
But
You're a
yeah, I
Dem.
mean, like again, dude, like, oh, I want to talk to you about Gavin Newsom actually. I want
Mm.
to know what you think about him. Cause I fuck with him heavy, bro.
Yeah, no, I could have predicted that. Um,
I almost bet
he's
on him.
You want to bet? Okay, first of all, I just think it's insane. I just really think it's insane to. He is a talking about Netanyahu is sorry, somebody was just commenting that he's a neoliberal. I think that's what he's talking about. That's what you're talking about, Omar. Um, and yeah, I mean, I just don't think there aren't many degrees of separation between a neoliberal and like a Republican, in my opinion. Let's not get into that now. Um, Gavin Newsom, he's I just don't get the obsession with him. We're so far out, and I think people are like riding for him for president now, and it's just like we have so much time to come up with a better person, somebody who isn't running around destroying homeless encampments and being transphobic. Like I don't get why he's our top pick just because he made some tweets, I guess. Like in the
Yeah, I mean,
redistricting, but there's like a
at the end of the
several
day,
several
bro,
states doing redistricting. Go ahead.
at the end of the day, as much as like I respect the fact that you have your political ideology, I think you need to come to terms with the fact that it's like just really not represented in American politics in any
I'm
like
not
sizable
expecting it to be.
capacity. And what I'm saying is that
Anti-establishment
like
people, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to say like Gavin Newsom exists and the Democratic Party exists as a big tent, right? So it's going to facilitate a bunch of different ideas. And ultimately, you want to find a singular individual who can try and represent them all the best. And it's kind of it feels like Gavin Newsom is just like one of the people who I feel like most people can get behind.
Most people can get behind. I don't think like what is his what we're looking for is if what we're looking for is just not Trump. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but he's not going to be like any. He's not. I don't think he's going to be like even a
Well,
step up
don't you
above Joe
think?
Biden. Like,
Don't you
uh,
think if we got him in office, like there would be better outcomes for Israel Palestine? Like, don't you think the Palestinian people would probably receive better living conditions as a consequence of that?
no, because we're not going to. At the end of the day, like
So you're
we
telling me
talk
that
big.
Kamala
No, okay,
Harris
no,
and
I'm not
Trump's
saying
like
that they're the same. That Trump and a Democrat is going to be exactly the same. However,
okay,
it's
well, it looks like your chat is, by the way. It looks like they're saying
yeah,
that.
I
So
know. I'm
yeah.
to an extent, I do believe that, but I'm not for the purpose of this. I'm
So
not.
you do
I'm
believe it or you don't believe it? So what are we doing here, bro?
is that what I'm saying that what I'm saying right
Keep it in
now is
principle. That's
not.
all I'm saying.
No. Listen, what I'm saying is that right now that's not the argument that I'm making. It's just not the argument that I'm making. The argument that I'm making is that I mean, you saw what Joe Biden did, his response on the more that and he was president during the entire beginning of the genocide. And he did not do shit. He said publicly, "I'm going to do shit to help this," and he didn't do anything. And privately, behind closed doors, he really just let them do whatever they want. I don't
What
know
you're saying
how
right now
it's
is just like
maybe
factually untrue. I'm sorry. So
what
like
did he
when
do
there was a
to
big issue, yes, when there was a big issue with the Israeli like IDF force like not like allowing enough humanitarian aid into the Palestinian territories, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden collectively were like, all right, we're gonna start applying pressure. We're gonna not give arms to Israel if they don't start like actually putting in these
but
like
he
food
never
trucks
did.
and bringing them into Palestine. And then a
They never
couple
did
days
that.
later, you're watching from Twitter, you can actually see these fucking trucks driving into Palestine and bringing them resources and shit.
Come on. You watched a video of them doing something and it was real. Like, okay, the tunnels, for example, they released
You're like
a bunch of
Republicans
press
with
tours.
fake news, bro. Jesus.
Do you
I mean,
not
like,
think that
what? Do you
fake
think it
news
was all
exists?
AI edited?
Do you not think that
I think
fake news
fake news
exists?
exists, but I think you're perpetuating it right now. That's what I think.
Okay. Just because they release a video of them doing something, just like they released a video of Gazans protesting Hamas, just like they released a video of the tunnels underneath hospitals that Yoav Gallant, the Minister of Defense, literally said that's
Are
what
you of
was
the
fake.
opinion that the tunnels don't exist?
The Minister of Defense literally said that they're not. The
What?
ex-Minister of
Oh,
Defense said that they're fake.
really? So there are no tunnels in Gaza. Like they're not
But that's what a
facilitating like
silly thing to
underground
say,
terrorist routes.
Pat. What a silly thing to say. Of course, there may be tunnels, but the ones that they were saying
No,
were
no, but
running underneath certain
like
hospitals
tunnels
and could fit an entire Humvee inside of it, those were a lie.
or under like children's bedrooms, right? Like under the bedroom of like a
Oh, please,
child.
how would we know that? There's we're
I
if
mean,
we're
like
if who we're going off of is the combatant of the country. If that's the only source that we have for this information, no, I'm not going to jump to believe that information. Of course not.
yeah. So unlike you, I don't have like such a cucked worldview that like I can't actually like look at like a reputable journalist who's like reporting on a
Who
situation and like
who
derive actual factual evidence from that.
who are the reputable journalists that weren't okay? You do know that there are certain news organizations that will so like on the BBC even when somebody says brings up something critical of Israel, the host will stop them in the middle of what they're saying and say, "Well, we do have to say that Israel is denies that claim." It's like what you know that there are news organizations that will ride for Israel no matter what, right? So saying reputable journalists almost means nothing. Like the only ones that I think were like
You could say that,
really
but I'm sorry. Like there are international journalists that work with the like the United Nations who go and they facilitate like certain I guess like evidence extraction to use like a better term. And yeah, I mean like just so we don't get like bogged down in this. What I struggle with, right, is again, I feel like we apply so much charitability, both me and you, to the Palestinian people, right? And I've said it myself, like if I was a Palestinian person, I would probably very likely join Hamas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but what I seem to struggle with is like we don't afford any charitability to the Israeli population. And what I mean by that is that October 7th was like 11 times the order of magnitude of what 9/11 was for us per capita. And so I understand that like the Israeli government is engaging in behavior right now that legitimately does go
Right
against the
now.
Geneva Conventions. Yeah,
Right
absolutely right now.
now.
And
Are you joking? Right now? Do you don't think that this was happening before October 7th? Like even years leading up to it
no,
since
the conflict has been going on for a while, and again,
no, no,
yeah,
no, no,
like
no.
there are definitely human rights violations, bro. You will never hear me say
N-
that isn't the case. But what I am
No,
saying is that
go ahead.
while we also look at the Palestinian people and we see their situation, we see their plight as a consequence of their environment, we seemingly don't also apply that to Jewish people in Israel,
Why are you
and we
bringing up
can't
Jewish people?
seemingly we
Why are you
can't
bringing up
seeming.
Jewish? What is this?
I I guess it was a misspeak, but I
Okay.
mean to say that they're not Jewish is kind of ridiculous, but.
What are there only I thought that was like one of the main tenets of why Israel is such a good place is because there are not just Jewish people there.
Like the vast majority of the country is Jewish, but
Right.
whatever, bro.
It's okay if you misspoke. Like I don't I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. It's
Well,
it's
I
it's
mean,
fine. Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Um,
I don't
the
know.
affordability
The
that
idea that like
I'm
the
going to offer
Israeli.
to the Israel, like what do you need them to have right now that we're not giving them? What charitability, like I'm talking about like in the social zeitgeist, like what do they need right now that we're not giving them, as opposed to
Well, what
what's
I'm
happening
saying
to
is that like
Palestinians right now?
anyone who advocates for the like destruction of the Israeli government, like that's where I'm like, you're just not affording any charitability to these people in this moment. So like anyone who advocates for the like dissolution of the Israeli government,
Okay,
yeah, essentially.
you're shadow
And
boxing
like
right
I'm
now. Like I
assuming you
don't,
do. Oh, really?
I
Wait, so you believe that like Israel has a right to exist? Because that would make you a Zionist.
states don't have a right to exist.
What?
States don't
So then
have
how so then
rights.
you wouldn't so
People
you
have
wouldn't
rights.
be able to justify any invasion ever.
States don't have rights. People have rights. So any invasion,
Wow,
if it were, if
you're
it
so brave. Thank you. Thank you for that.
so if a
Obviously states have
if
rights.
there were to
Obviously
be
a
an
state has a right
invasion,
to exist.
huh? Say
States
it
have
again.
rights to exist. I don't understand where this idea comes from that
No,
no state ever
under
has the right to
international law, there's
exist.
no rights afforded to a state. It's this is what I'm saying. That's why I hate the question: does Israel have a right to exist? As long as they are
Well, it's
treating
pretty
everybody,
simple. I feel like it's not obscure. It's not like it's something you can't like understand. It's like, do you believe that the Israeli government, as it exists today, has a moral right to exist in that area, and
the
there wouldn't
government,
be a justifiable reason to completely destroy that government? Like that's what that
and
means.
you know,
And
at this
everyone
point, I
knows
don't.
that that's what that means.
Not necessarily. It's when people use does Israel have a right to exist? It also comes with the little add-on that like they're allowed to do what they're doing now. First of
Did
all,
I do that? Did I say that? Is that what I just did?
no,
Because
but
I'm pretty
I
sure like
think
the
my
past
answer
5 years
applies
I've been condemning
regardless.
Israel pretty.
I think what I
Okay,
said
so
applies
I guess
regardless.
you could be shadowboxing some imaginary Zionist in front of you, but like I'm telling you right now, like I believe Israel has a right to exist, but I also
Okay,
think they're
well
doing a
here,
fuck
let's
ton of
just
things,
do
and I
one
think it's
thing.
bad.
Let's just do one thing. Is there a genocide happening?
Fuck no.
Yeah, see? So it's like, yeah, you're a Zionist. Of course, I'm arguing with a Zionist.
Yeah, and you can call me a Zionist, but like if that means I'm like
Or a
supportive of Bibi
Nazi.
Netanyahu, no. And you could say that, right? But again, like to compare what is going on with Israel and Palestine to like Nazi Germany, it's pretty disingenuous. I think